always been on red side, but clearly not wanting to have that one go across in the hands of Gala. Did have a phenomenal performance about 2 series ago on it. So RNG now, being hovering the Gwen. Again, I kind of said, I don't like this Gwen. I think it has its spot now. There's too many counters that can come out. And I wouldn't be surprised to see like a support and like something like a Thresh or something picked up for JinJiao here. And then if you go for the Jace for Fearness on the top side, but even if you don't go towards Jace, you've still got things like the Gnar that are available as well. Unfortunate that RNG have banned away the Akali, because I think Fearness would have loved to play
that. Find Gwen is going to come out in that top side though, and we'll see if there's much of an answer that can come out, whether or not it will be punished, right? Because we're on the opposite side of the matchup. I would love to see something coming out that can punish more aggressively. Obviously, the Jace was banned away. It'll be a Gnar from Fearness, and we'll see if he can punish Bin. But Wei loves to get involved on that top side, loves to try and set Bin up. So Fearness is going to have to be cautious not to over push, not to get caught out of position.
Curious now, actually already answered. I was going to say LGD, not going to go with the support pick, trying to get Shadow's Lee Sin picked up, was banned away in game number 1. So kind of trying to get comfort for Shadow in the mid, comfort for Eric Boss, and now Fearness with the counter matchup in that top side. It feels at least like LGD are setting themselves up nicely. RNG will round out their first 3 picks with the AD carry, no surprises. And now I imagine it will be the support bans away from JinJiao, just to make sure you've got the better side of that equation. But also the potential here to like maybe ban away some counters in the mid, because you could always go for like some sort of quick mid lane pick here if you wanted to, or you can just go for your jungle pick and make sure that Wei is going to be all right just on this. So he's up here.
Yeah, certainly could opt into that one. I love the I love the Vex ban. Like, Jay tried that in game number 1. It didn't work. We're not letting Xiaohu have it. I guess we have to ban it now. That's the like progression of this series. LeBlanc banned as well. Ari now going to be banned by LGD. Xiaohu could go for a blind pick, but realistically, you can just go for your jungler here and then go for the counter pick in that one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, because I was trying to like work through my head the last remaining like mid priorities, and that's why I wasn't sure if we'd actually get like the Ari, which I think that was what the LeBlanc was setting up for, was that Ari pick in the mid lane. So I think LGD kind of rightfully going, all right, hang on, there's something afoot here. So let's get rid of this Ari, make sure it's all fine. You'll still get counter pick for Xiaohu, but I mean, you're pretty far down the list of mid lane bans now. LeBlanc, Ryze, Vex, Ari. So maybe you're looking at something like a Zoe here for Jay, just something that can try and play with the range advantage that you have. Vex would have been great because you could have tried to plug for the dive potential. Maybe it's at the Gala if they want to go for more of a utility style. But yeah, I think the long range here with the Zoe is probably your best bet.
I like it. This is something Jay's brought out before. It's something that is slowly but surely increasing in priority. As you know, Dagda, bit of a fan of the Zoe myself. But interestingly, being picked up in a composition that's not necessarily got that much long-range follow-up on the Zoe, but you can play for those picks with the Lee Sin. Thresh, obviously, as well. When you land a trouble bubble, you can follow up with the hook and try and find that all-in opportunity. So potential for this to work for LGD, and we can see Jay and Shadow trying to make things happen in that early game. But now RNG, they get to choose where they want to go in the mid lane. Xiaohu has to decide what counter pick he wants.
I mean, it looks like we're just going to go back towards the Orianna. I mean, works really well what RNG have. Good team fight, good zone control. The only thing I would be worried about is just kind of, I was about to say the range and kind of your engage tools not quite being there, but this actually works perfectly. You will get pushed in early, but now you've got the opportunity here to play side lane, but the way to close the gap onto LGD alongside this Nautilus. So I like this for Xiaohu.
Yeah, Xiaohu going with the Twisted Fate, which honestly, it's usually banned. We rarely see Twisted Fate these days. Still high priority, but low actual picks because it's so often just banned away. So Twisted Fate coming on through. And again, Xiaohu and Wei, a solid 2v2. I don't know, which way do you reckon this 2v2 goes? It feels like kind of a carry in the jungle for RNG with Twisted Fate alongside him to support. Kind of the double carry matchup, honestly, for the side of LGD, where you've got the Zoe and the Lee Sin. Both will do massive damage.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of straight up burst onto single targets from the Lee Sin and the Lee Sin. Like, you can one-shot someone with a triple bubble. you can then set up for the double Qs from the Lee and Zoe at the right time, and you completely dismantle whoever's there. And if that is onto Xiaohu, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think that's what Jay and Shadow will be trying to do. If it's actually Xiaohu and Wei, though, who are able to find that aggression first, it's very easy to like lock down Jay, lock down Shadow, finish them off just with the CC and the damage thing you have. So it certainly is kind of a who gets that play first, because you on both sides have a lot of damage to just single target shuts you.
Yeah, you certainly can. See if LGD will find those opportunities. That's the big question, whether or not RNG will even allow LGD the opportunity, because, you know, we talked about compositions last time. It didn't really seem like the compositions themselves necessarily mattered that much. This felt like just laning difference. It felt like jungle difference. It felt like a huge mid difference in game number 1. Xiaohu now with the Twisted Fate, going for that spellbook as well. You can anticipate that he will try and find his way elsewhere on the map rather than trying to 1v1 Jay this time. I'm curious how this jungle matchup is going to go now that we have a more aggressive matchup here. Shadow on the Lee Sin, very much comfort for him. Last time around, Wei found that super early kill in the river that set Xiaohu up for success. I doubt LGD will allow that to happen again.
I'm a bit worried about LGD, just because they do have that big range advantage they were talking about Zoe and Jinx, but I mean, one of the best counters to that is the MC Hammer, right? Like, Gwen can't be touched, Xin Zhao can't be touched, and even if you manage to get these big engages off, 9 times out of 10, you actually aren't able to follow up onto it because the front line for RNG is so difficult to deal with. So for LGD, it feels to me very much like they kind of need to get the ball rolling early, which is surprising when you think of it in most ways, because you're like, oh, well, you have a late game Jinx, you have a Zoe who's going to scale to late. But if you end up in a situation where you're kind of starting to fall behind, or even you're going into these team fights even, it still feels like RNG are just able to ignore so much of your big damage tools and take the fight themselves.
Certainly does. Fearness been already trading up in this top side. Fearness should win these trades early on. Should be able to consistently. There's that. Actually going for the fleet rather than grasp. Wouldn't have been surprised to see the grasp there, but obviously wanting the movement speed that you do get from the fleet footwork and that sustain. See how that continues to go, and you can see that that means Fearness can escape from Bin as he tries to get those little snips in with his scissors. JinJiao and Eric actually having priority in this bottom lane as well. They should hit level 2 ever so slightly earlier. And that's one of the powers of Jinx, right? One of the big things that Jinx is going to bring to your bot lane 2v2 is the fact that you can push the lane super aggressively.
And I mean, that is working out pretty well for Eric. You also have that push for Jay in the mid. And that's kind of where we're looking at LGD going, right, you've got 2 winning lane matchups that you can look to play through. Even as you can see there, with the observers just showing that Wei did get a ward placed onto his Raptors, will do a nice job to avoid it, not giving that information across to LGD. And it looks like maybe seeing if you can try and support Bin on this top side as Bin is shoving in. This is one of the things that you can do reasonably well with Gwen in these level 1s to 3s, just with how potent she is in the early stages. But eventually, Fearness will be able to get better control over this top lane match.
Okay, well, he's got to play in the mid lane. Wei moving over. Jay's just gone forwards as Wei arrives in the lane. And it's first blood. This time, given over to Wei. This time, they've kind of swapped roles, right? We had Xiaohu as the carry in game number 1 with Wei supporting him. Now it's kind of the opposite way around, where Wei will be gifted these kills. Xiaohu playing as that utility mid lane.
I mean, at least from Jay's perspective, I fair dues to kind of spot that the deal was already done. He didn't burn his flash. He didn't try to escape away. He was like, look, I know that I've messed up here, so I'm just going to accept my fate. It means that it at least later on, if Xiaohu tries to make a rinse and repeat, we'll have to burn his own flash, or at least Jay will have that safety to Fearness, though, taking a lot of damage from Bin.
Certainly has been his hardcore winning that matchup out. Good flash from Xiaohu, but great pressure coming out from Jay to find himself an advantage in that mid lane. He is 7 CS up currently, as Xiaohu will be able to even that up somewhat with this stacked wave that's pushing towards him. Good to see Jay in a matchup where he can flex his muscles a little bit. And see if he can continue to find advantages, whether he can build that CS lead even further. Fearness, very low on HP, about to turn into that Mega Gnar. His Wei not going to try and make the dive happen. Instead, moving potentially towards mid. No. Looks like he will go top in the end. Fearness in trouble underneath his tower. Spots way out, but can he survive the dive is the question. Flash available, turns into mini Gnar, and that's the moment where RNG will strike. Bin autos a minion, but it won't matter in the end. They get the kill.
And big wave loss there as well to Fearness. We'll be able to TP in. Oh, okay. I think that might have been a little unnecessary for Bin. Like, Jay really wasn't overcommitting to that, but maybe a bit afraid as to where Shadow was going to be. But at least now, Fearness should be able to clear out this wave. Won't know that the TP is burned, so can't really play around that with the wave state. And with it pushing out, Bin can get back top. But at least for Bin, nice little bit of an advantage there off of just the gold state.
Yeah. You know, interesting TP coming out from Bin, but I don't think it'll make much difference because the wave is pushing towards him anyway. He'll still be able to get back there in time for the wave, just about at very least. Xiaohu continues to take a lot of harass here in the mid lane. It is not going to be the easiest matchup for him, but he's doing a good job to maintain CS. And crucially, Dagda, we have to talk about these mid laners about to hit level 6. That's the moment where Xiaohu can really start to impact the map. Gala and Ming could be in trouble. Ming on that Nautilus can't necessarily protect Gala in the way that he could if he had the Thresh that JinJiao managed to grab for himself in the draft. But it doesn't look like Shadow's going to pull the trigger on a bottom lane play for now.
I mean, it doesn't look like Shadow wants to pull a trigger at all. It's kind of hoping to see a little bit more from the Lee Sin, especially as we're kind of saying, look, you can play really well with Jay. You now have this flash down for Xiaohu as well. Very easy for Jay to just flash forward, look for that bubble, follow up for Shadow, but Shadow not actually getting too much impact and still falling behind to Wei when it comes towards the gold experience. You can see some on levels and just general presence as well. So kind of looking at Shadow going, come on, bud, you've got options here. Let's make them happen.
Yeah, I will say, you know, I've been nervous to say this on broadcast, but honestly, I remember like a year or two ago, people were talking about Shadow being the best jungler in LEC and how he would be able to match up to LPL junglers.
I don't know if he was. I think he was the best Lee Sin. I don't know if he's considered the best jungler because I know like Inspired and Elyoya, pretty sure had the title above him. But yeah, I mean,
well, Elyoya only came in to replace Shadow.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But yeah, certainly best Lee Sin. It's not really happened. It's not really happened here in LPL so far. But he has been on a rough team. So there's an extent to which I don't want to just blame Shadow for everything, right? Like, it's one of those things where when you're on a bottom team, it's going to be difficult to show your stuff too well. But certainly not having a great time of it in this matchup. And I have to say, Dagda, RNG, I need you guys to be a little bit more aggressive here. Because the first series was a hell of a series. And we need to see some action. Jay making some aggressive moves on Xiaohu. It's a good bubble, but it's not enough to find a kill.
And Wei kind of being a bit hesitant to follow up there. Again, not sure where Shadow was, but might have been able to finish off Jay if he had decided to just make a run for that. But now we're starting to see it's actually LGD being a bit more proactive. JinJiao getting out of the spot side, starting to move in to get vision, knowing that Xiaohu is backed, but you have to be careful. Destiny's available. They're actually full moving now for this Rift Herald, and looks like RNG going to be pretty comfortable giving this up. You've still got Gala kind of setting up that slow push up bot.
It's kind of the opposite of what we're used to seeing from RNG, though, as Wei moves over. It looks like they do want to contest. Hook comes on through. There's a bubble as well. In the meantime, Shadow trying to finish the Herald. Wei walks away with his life. And LGD, a nice bit of proactive play here. They get themselves a Herald. They deny the potential contest from Wei. They get his Crescent Guard out as well, although that's not too big a cooldown. But Gala, in the meantime, has red and white weapons, is Aphelios. That's 2 plates. That's already the Herald answered for. And he'll grab another bonus wave. He's 20 CS up almost already.
Look for the response, though. I mean, you've got full push in mid for Xiaohu. You also handed over blue to Jay. He knows he's low on mana. There is the option here for Xiaohu to start to, as we see Eric and JinJiao teeter back into the spot lane, try and set up some sort of play, especially if LGD go over aggressive.
Certainly could. Wait on the top side of the map, Fearness. About to turn into Mega Gnar, which makes you think that the dive would not be the play here for RNG. But Xiaohu, as you say, Destiny on cooldown for the time being. It's going to be difficult for him to make it happen. Use that during the Herald play, I believe. It looks like we'll have resets across the board. We need to look to Shadow now. has that Rift Herald. We need to see how he's going to be able to use that. Been knocked away, denied his all-in. Fearness will survive for now, but Gnar under the tower. Wei wants to rinse and repeat what happened earlier. Flash available, but not going to be used anywhere near quickly enough. That knock-up coming on through denies the ability for counterplay, and now Jay moves in, but this time won't be able to force a summoner out of anyone. Will just clear up a wave.
The issue, though, is that Jay has committed himself to top side, and now Xiaohu can always come down to this bot lane if needs be. Excuse me, sorry. Too many days casting in a row. As the bot lane was under pressure from that Rift Herald, so you can see that you're not able to, like, overcommit here as LGD to this bot lane, because you know there's always that opportunity for a numbers advantage on the bot side. So we'll get a charge, but would have liked to try and take that bot lane turret, but at least Eric is getting some gold into his pocket.
Here's a wave will crash up the top side as well. Eric, let's take a look. He's 300 gold behind after the plates that Gala was able to get for himself. Gala just at the tier 2 right now, but it looks like LGD won't try and push for another plate. They're just going to go for a reset while they have the opportunity to. I'm looking towards Xiaohu again, though, Dagda, because he's 20 CS down right now, as Jay is managing to find himself a bit of an advantage in that mid lane. Has a Dark Seal as well. But Xiaohu about to get that Destiny available again, and that's where we can see this Twisted Fate really come alive. And perhaps we'll see him head down towards the bottom lane, or even up towards that top side and try and punish Fearness.
I mean, there's a lot of options that you can make. It's just a case of, like, getting control of the mid lane to try and make that happen. Finn has been the benefactor of a lot of this pressure from RNG, and it will end up helping them in the long run, as Wei actually they're in trouble.
Yeah, although is he? He just goes for the 2v1 here, and Xiaohu now arrives. Shadow stunned over the wall. Wei finishes the kill. Very nicely done by RNG, and Xiaohu ain't done just yet. Destiny going to be used to chase down JinJiao and set Gala up to finish the kill. Ming takes it with an anchor. I'm not sure that was necessary, but regardless, it's 2 more kills for RNG as they push their lead to 4,000 gold.
That's a kill secure. We call that a banker. Ming making sure that he is able to get that one set up nicely for them. Wei now going to move over towards the dragon. I was pretty happy with that one. As now RNG able to get themselves dragon. You're getting more plates to the bot side for Gala as well. Obviously, that kill would have been a lot better going towards Gala, but honestly, just nice job from Wei. Spotted out that this was where the play was going to happen. Great flash forward from Ming. And Shadow tries to get away from the stun card, but there's just not enough there. RNG, really good job to shut this down.
Yep, great use of the Destiny as well from Shadow, just to guarantee an extra kill. I'm surprised how much damage that did from Ming, honestly. I'm not sure he was trying to steal the kill. I think he just underestimated the anchor damage. But regardless, it's already starting to look pretty dire for LGD. Despite them getting that first Herald of the game, it doesn't feel like it really mattered very much. The gold lead is 4,500 in favor of RNG. Xiaohu will be able to grab himself a 3rd plate in the mid lane, while we saw Jay making the play towards the top side, TPing to try and protect his top laner. Xiaohu was just hammering away on the tower. We've seen 3 plates go down in the bottom lane as well. There's a plate in the top side that RNG have taken. Got CS leads going off in the jungle, in the top lane, in the AD carry role as well. I mean, it's just everything going the way of RNG. And now Wei aggressing onto Eric. That's a flash forced out by Wei. He flashes forward to go onto JinJiao himself. There's another kill for the side of RNG. It just feels like LGD can't punish anything in this game. There's no space for them to punish.
And this is why we talk about the map play from RNG just being so much better. And I gotta say, I feel sorry for Jay, because I can understand where his thought process is. It's like, hey, you know, Fearness is being dove for the 3rd time in a row. I should probably get up here to help him out. But it means that with, like, that TP play, LGD can't really play around the spot side in the way they want to. Rift Herald, you're not having Shadow have the best of situations where he's able to actually play towards his strength. Even moving Eric and JinJiao up to secure that Rift Herald in the first place meant that Gala got all these plates, and now he's getting another one. So it's just RNG playing out the map far stronger. And yes, Bin has, you know, had some help to get the lead against Fearness, but everyone else has just been a case of RNG punishing the map state that LGD are trying to create.
Gala is more than 1,500 gold up individually right now, and he's barely been a part of any of the plays on the map. Massive Gnar ulti coming through. Maybe this is the play from LGD. Jay will finish one off, looks for a 2nd kill as well. Double on the Zoe, but Xiaohu is here to answer. That's a 2-for-1 so far, and RNG trying to chase down, but won't be able to. So at least a small shining light here for LGD as Jay is getting on top of this game.
Finally, LGD are on the board, but Gala is having none of it.
Oh my lord, Eric just gets rinsed! Gala does not care. He wants a win right here. He sees LGD win a trade and immediately just bodies his counterpart.
And now gets the mid lane turret. Top lane's going to go to Xiaohu. They get 2 kills on LGD, and somehow RNG are winning on the map. This is the power that we talk about. This is why RNG are so terrifying. And now they just fall back towards the Rift Herald as well whenever they want. They can now, once more, have a Rift Herald for tier 2 towers of LGD.
Unbelievable stuff coming out here from RNG JinJiao. Might have been caught out here because Xiaohu has a gold card with his name written on it. Ming moving over for the flank. Aftershock has run out, and that will be the end. JinJiao here. One more auto finishes the kill. Gala takes credit for that one. As a bubble does land from Jay, but way happy to protect him. Jay takes an extra shot from the Calibrum. Gravitum is there. Oh, but the blast cone just about saves Jay's life. That was damn close.
Far too close for comfort there. And the spot here, just a replay. LGD getting onto the scoreboard with these 2 kills. Nice job from Fearness, like able to stay alive for a long time here. Just as Bin shows up, the double Gnar into the wall, but eventually RNG, the cavalry arrives, and they do end up having to back away. Fearness takes a lot of damage. They actually get the kill going across into Shadow. And from that point forward, it's actually RNG who are able to win out of the map state with another pick then in that mid lane. Shadow finds Bin, trying to keep him honest and see if he can push him back, especially with RNG on reset. But, I mean, Xiaohu, he's got full push topside, and he's going to just keep it going.
Shadow knows that he's got his teammates nearby and will be able to guarantee this bounty in the bottom side. That'll be going into Fearness's pockets. There's a 6,000 gold lead for RNG, but that should be minimized to about 5,000 off of that tower. Now fight in the mid lane. Gala trying to survive. Great kick coming out from Shadow and a pickup for Eric. Maybe this is the fight, but Wei is so tanky with his ultimate in place that it's still a 2-for-1 in favor of RNG. A good little play, a good attempt from LGD, but it's not enough.
You've got Wei, who's 4-1-4, Bin, who's 3-1-2. Like, these guys are so big that you just can't match it. And now RNG, despite the fact that they got the play made on them, they're the ones getting this 3rd dragon. Fearness is here, so is Jay, but, I mean, you're not going to steal this away from Wei.
Yep, you can just smite that one away. Like, valiant effort from Fearness. I appreciate that he goes for that little, oh no, boomerang at the end. It's going to be Fearness caught out. He tries to contest the Drake, and he's punished massively for it. I've changed my mind. I didn't like the boomerang. I take it all back. Overextension. Xiaohu punishes.
And look, this is what we mean when we kind of came into the day and you was like, look, maybe LGD can find some plays in the map. They just aren't able to. RNG are so well prepared for everything that seems to get thrown at them. Even here, like, you still have the TP available for Xiaohu if he really wants to try and join in. But RNG don't overcommit. They just go, yep, or Xiaohu, you get your nice back timer off. We don't need to use so many resources to this play. We'll just find the teamfight win regardless, take the dragon, and now they get to continue with the Destiny coming up shortly, but that TP still in the back pocket for Xiaohu.
Certainly is. Xiaohu, plenty of opportunities to make plays for himself, and we are beyond the 14-minute mark, so you can do that anywhere on the map and make those flanks happen. But just look across the scoreboard. Every single lane, there's a massive advantage in favor of RNG. Total gold lead 7,000 at this point, but crucially, those 3 Drakes as well. Like, all series long, we've seen RNG focusing on controlling these Drakes. We said at the start of the day that this is a team that doesn't really like to focus on Drakes. This is a team that prefers to focus on the top side of the map. But when you can get both, the Drake and the Herald, why would you ever not? That's exactly what RNG are doing today, as they have that Herald in Wei's pocket currently. And once again, we see the second Herald that RNG have, but they've already taken all of the tier 1s. They just have to figure out which tier 2 they'd like to pressure with the Herald. And
it's a tough life, you know? Those tier 2s, you just never really know what one you want to go for. Looks like topside going to be the call here. It's so hard here for LGD at this stage, because this is why I kind of said for LGD, they needed to get the ball rolling early. Jay just doesn't do as much from Zoe when she's behind. You don't get the opportunity when someone's jumping in on top of you to get the full damage off your Q. It's much harder to land your bubbles. And even the same with Eric. You're still waiting on this guy to come up, get up and rolling, but you actually are able to deal damage to Bin and Wei in the position that you're in. So how do you try and fight back against RNG as they jump on top?
That's the question. Bonus charge as well. Comes out on the bottom side, or in the top side, sorry. Onto that inhib tower. So a potential window for Bin if he ends up trying to side lane later on. For now, he's on bottom side. As 2.5 minutes until the Drake comes up. LGD, though, in the meantime, trying to get some kind of vision control of the Baron area. Because right now, vision control of every part of the map in favor of RNG. Okay, let's see it, Fearness. Let's see the 1v1. Show him what you're made of. It's not going to happen. Wallop dashed away from. And Bin walks away.
Yeah, with the 20 CS lead for himself, Bin's doing relatively all right here. Bin... Oh, no, the mini Gnar's there. I think he'll be all right. So the Hull Breaker means that no matter what Fearness does, he can't lose. So he's just going to be able to...
That's a good item. Okay, Destiny. Maybe it's not whatever he does. Maybe if Xiaohu gets involved, there is a possible loss right there. Nice little Destiny towards the bottom side. Both solo laners on the bottom side of the map. But RNG have so much control on the top side that it's not like there's a Baron threat available from the side of LGD. And I like that RNG aren't trying to commit to the Baron themselves. They're just playing for the bottom side control because Drake is going to come up in 1:20. Why would you ever need to look at Baron?
Yeah, why risk it? There's no point. You can just get these towers, establish your vision in this bot side jungle, and make sure that, like, it's kind of a twofold. You get the dragon, but also just sets up wonderfully for Bin from the next few minutes where you do get that soul. Then you can start to play towards Baron as the rest of RNG. And again, because you've got this Destiny, you've got the opportunity to always kind of have Xiaohu Shadow, our word of the day that Munch has been teaching us, Bin in his bot side, and start to look for like those 2v2 plays like we just saw.
And, you know, hilariously, Shadow is in the game as well.
I know.
You know, it's multi-mean. Shadow takes a bit of a chunk. Oh, big damage onto Wei. That is what we like to see from Jay right there with the Zoe pick, but it's immediately answered as JinJiao goes down. And this small advantage that LGD found may have been denied here. Jay has to make the magic happen once more, but Ming flashes in, finds his way onto Eric. That's a depth charge as well. Xiaohu trying to follow up, flashes for the gold card. Bin's there to finish the kill. They need to get Shadow. They need to deny this smite. Gala just one-shotting everyone as Shadow tries to escape. But guess who's there? Xiaohu's followed him with the Destiny and the blue card salute to finish him off. Now the Drake belongs to RNG.
That 0.7 AP ratio doing work on the blue card to make sure that he finishes off the low health Shadow. And I need to check the replay. Can we talk to some referees? Because that hook from Ming was illegal. I don't know how that thing connected. Like, that was absolutely insane. Really good pick here by Jay. Like, this is kind of what you can do with this comp. And I think a bit disrespect from Wade not to pop the present card straight off Rift. But yeah, I need to see what happens here with Ming, because that hook onto Eric seemed real suspect.
Well, let's see. It's about to happen again. Ming flashes forwards.
I don't know.
It's not as suspect as it initially looked, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit fishy, but not as fishy as I've seen some of those Nautilus hooks. But yeah, I mean, Gala, totally fine here to just follow through. I know it looks a bit weird that Xiaohu pulled the blue card. The blue card does have more damage on it. You get a 0.7 ratio on the blue card, a 0.6 ratio on the red card, a 0.3 ratio on the gold card. So yeah, it just makes sense there to pull it so you can Shadow.
And also, he was completely out of mana, right? So if you want to have any follow-up on the rest of the play, had to go for the blue card there. Very nicely done by RNG. 16-4, Infernal Soul. And the crazy thing is, Xiaohu is so far ahead on this Twist of Fate that he's doing crazy damage. He went for the Lichbait third item. He's going, by the looks of things, maybe a Death Cap next, maybe a Event Horizon something. Horizon Focus, sorry. Destiny going to be used just to regroup with his team here. As RNG continue to push their control further forward. Ming hooked up, but he's quite happy to take a little bit of punishment. A glutton for it, if you will. As whoa! That was a gold card! That was gold card damage! That was half of his health!
That's a little bit unfair. I mean, it is a very squishy Thresh. Gone for the Shreddy's battle song, but God, that was some serious damage. And now with that, RNG feeling confident to strive forward.
That's TF damage. TF doesn't do damage. That's not how this game works. That was absolutely insane. And I mean, obviously, there's a huge level gap. Xiaohu is massively sped, but still, it still just blows my mind seeing that kind of damage coming out of a TF here. The Xiaohu pushing in the bottom lane with the Baron up wave, and LGD are trying to contest. He's not even afraid. There's like 3 of them there on the bottom side trying to contest him. One more shot from the cannon will finish the inhib. And in the meantime, because they all reacted to the bottom lane, the other 2 lanes are being pushed at the same time. Xiaohu finds a solo kill onto JinJiao as he just continues to annihilate players from the side of LGD. Drops a cheeky little thumbs up as the map is torn to shreds by RNG. Onto the Nexus towers they go. We said we wanted a confident win here from RNG. We said we wanted them to prove that they're one of the best in the league. And they have dominated LGD in response. Half health on the Nexus as RNG's health bars are low, but not as low as the enemies. As Xiaohu annihilates yet another target, takes the game 22-5. And RNG making a statement today.
Yeah, and Xiaohu in particular, 2 levels above everybody else in the game from the end of that. The guy was an absolute monster. That TF damage was absurd. And there's not much to say about this.